Guys, welcome to Basic Nursing Classes. Myself Amanpreet. Today we are moving on with our topic diabetes mellitus. In the previous video we discussed about the types of diabetes and the normal pathophysiology of glucose metabolism and the difference between type 1 and type 2. And in this video we are going to discuss the main risk factors behind both diabetes and the complications. Okay, let's move on. First, discuss the risk factors. The main risk factors of both type 1 and type 2 diabetes is firstly the genetic factors. Okay, and genetic factors play an important role in both type 1 and type 2. Plus, second is diet. Diet is also very important to take care in both type 1 and type 2 when you are taking insulin or you are taking the anti-diabetic medications. And third is activity level or exercise, because the amount of exercise a person does is very important. If a person is doing too much exercise or high levels of exercise, then the amount of insulin or diabetic medication that decreases. Okay, so it is very important to monitor the exercise levels and the blood sugar levels. The fourth one is autoimmune, any autoimmune disease to the pancreas. Okay, and in that case the pancreas is not able to produce insulin at all, and it can lead to type 1 diabetes. Okay, and for fifth one is viral illness, any viral illness to the body or any infection to the body that also increases the amount of insulin the body needs. Okay, and sixth one is stress levels, high levels of stress that increases the levels of insulin the body requires, and it leads to hyperglycemia. Seventh is medications like steroids, for example prednisolone, and thiazide diuretics. These are also medications that can lead to hyperglycemia. And eighth one is pregnancy, and we discussed that pregnancy in gestational period there can be gestational diabetes. Okay, and ninth is use of contraceptive pills, and these pills also increase the glucose level. And 10th is age. With age the chances of uh, insulin resistance to the body that increases, which also increases the risk of diabetes. And 11th is use of alcohol. Alcohol use also increases the amount of blood sugar in the body, and these factors we can divide into modifiable and non-modifiable. So non-modifiable are obviously genetic causes, we cannot modify that, and the age we cannot modify the age also, and some autoimmune diseases we cannot modify that, but we can modify our diet, exercise, and amount of stress, and medication use, alcohol use, use of contraceptives. So these are the modifiable factors which we can modify. Okay, so now let's move on to the complications of diabetes. The first main important complication, which is very important from exam point of view, that is hypoglycemia. When the patient who is either type 1 or type 2, or either he is taking insulin or he is taking anti-diabetic medications, oral medications, the main risk factor is, the main complication is hypoglycemia. Okay, and in hypoglycemia the blood sugar level that goes less than 70 milligram per deciliter or less than 3.9 millimole. Okay, remember that. And when there is hypoglycemic condition in the body, there is low level of glucose in the blood, then there is a release of epinephrine from the brain. And with the release of epinephrine, there are some sign of symptoms like there can be trembling, palpitations, anxiety, restlessness, diaphoresis, that is sweating, pallor, and increased hunger. And these are because of release of epinephrine. And apart from these signs and symptoms, there can be some signs and symptoms of a drunk person, like there can be slurred speech or staggering gait, delayed reaction time, impaired judgment, low BP, tachycardia, tachypnea. The skin can be cold or clammy. So these are the main signs and symptoms when the person goes into a hypoglycemic state, and this is an emergency situation. Okay, and the reasons behind hypoglycemic condition is, first is mainly when the patient is not taking enough food, okay, or he is taking too much insulin than the required, or diabetic medications, more than required medication, or he is doing too much exercise. Because if the person is doing exercise, that means he is putting extra shots of insulin in the body. So in that condition, the body goes into hypoglycemic state. And in extreme hypoglycemia, there can be some brain damage, because the brain is a very crucial part of the body which needs glucose, continuous supply of glucose, and extreme hypoglycemia can lead to permanent brain damage. Okay, and now the nursing responsibility. What to do when the patient goes into a hypoglycemic state? The first is, if the patient is awake, is conscious, we have to give the patient rapidly metabolized carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates which can be rapidly metabolized, because simple carbohydrate can be rapidly metabolized. The ideal carbohydrates which we can give, that is orange juice, low fat milk, okay, and the amount is like it should be 15 grams. The ideal amount is 15 grams, and then recheck the blood sugar in 10 to 15 minutes, okay. Or if there is no low fat milk is there, then, or orange juice is not there, you can give any other juice, or you can give candy, or you can give the honey or jam to the person. So these are the easy, rapidly metabolized carbohydrates. These are not complex carbohydrates. And after giving simple carbohydrates, we should give the complex carbohydrates with simple carbohydrates. The best we can give is simple carbohydrates plus starch. Starch is some complex carbohydrate, or we can give protein instead of starch. Okay, and the example we can take, simple carbohydrate is juice, for example, and starch, you can say some crackers or some cookie, that is starch. Okay, and or protein can be turkey, we can give turkey to the patient. And if there's, we can combine both starch and protein, that the example, best example is milk, skimmed milk, okay, that is combination of both carbohydrates and protein. So first we have to give simple carbohydrates, okay, which can be rapidly metabolized in the body. The ideal amount of carbohydrate is 15 grams. Then recheck the blood sugar in 10 to 15 minutes, and after that you should combine it with either complex carbohydrate or combine it with protein. Okay, and if the patient is not conscious, is not awake, then you have to give the injection glucagon, and you can give glucagon injection IM. Okay, and if you cannot give the IM injections, for example neutropenic precautions, the patients who are having neutropenic, patient who is on neutropenic precautions, you cannot give IM injection, then you have to give IV, something IV, and in these conditions you can give D10 or D50, because D5 is not going to cover the hypoglycemic state. So you have to give either D10 or D50. Okay, so these are the risk factors and the male complication, which is very important from the exam point of view. And in next video we are going to discuss about that is difference between TKA and HHNKA. Okay, So till then, revise these topics. Good luck for exam. Thank you.